Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone. For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing. Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com. And by Hyundai. Experience the 2011 Hyundai Sonata today at HyundaiSonata.com.
This is Autoline Daily for Friday, October 14, and here is your latest update of what's happening in the automotive industry. Our lead story in yesterday's show reported that the UAW was warning its members that Ford might hire scab workers if the union goes on strike. But now the union is frantically backtracking, essentially saying, "Never mind, that statement was posted by mistake." It denies that UAW Vice President Jimmy Settles said that Ford would hire scab workers, but the words he used were replacement workers, and everyone knows he was referring to scabs. Clearly, the leadership in the union is worried that the Ford vote is not going well. So far, the voting is roughly 55% against, 45% for, but I would also point out that only a little over 10% of the workforce has voted on the contract, so this thing is far from over. We all know that Suzuki is trying to get a divorce from Volkswagen, but VW will have none of it. So now the Japanese automaker is accusing its German partner of violating their agreement by not sharing technology. According to Bloomberg, Suzuki is demanding that Volkswagen sell its stock back. Remember, back in 2009, VW bought almost 20% of Suzuki, while the capital S picked up a 1.5% stake in Volkswagen. So far, the two companies have yet to partner on a single project. And now VW is accusing Suzuki of violating the agreement by purchasing engines from Fiat. Drama, drama, drama. Hey, the world economy is in a lot of trouble right now, but the automotive industry is one of the few bright spots. And now J.D. Power predicts that by 2015, global vehicle sales will top, are you ready? 100 million units. Deliveries are on track to hit about 75 million this year. It's estimated they'll swell to 81 million next year and then really take off after that. And you guessed it, it's the emerging markets like China, India, and Brazil that are expected to be the engines that drive this growth. Detroit is attracting some high-profile visitors. Later today, President Obama and South Korean President Lee Myung-bak will visit GM's Orion Assembly Plant to tout a new free trade deal. And yesterday, billionaire oil tycoon T. Boone Pickens was in the Motor City, calling for big truck companies to switch their rigs to run on natural gas instead of diesel. Pickens is trying to get a bill passed through the U.S. Congress that would give them the tax credits to do it. He estimates his plan would cost $5 billion over 5 years, but that would help create 100,000 jobs and cut the amount of oil imported from the Middle East in half. And speaking of large trucks, sales are roaring in North America. According to Ward's, sales of medium and heavy-duty trucks were up over 50% last month in the U.S. compared to a year ago, and in Canada they were up over 36%. And that's a really good sign because large truck sales are a leading indicator of where the economy is headed in the future. BMW is getting into carbon fiber in a big way. It wants to use the material on its electric cars, and it says it can easily justify the cost. We'll show you how it can justify sky-high carbon fiber costs right after this.
I got this one, old man.
For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
BMW says it's found all kinds of cost offsets that will allow it to justify using carbon fiber in its electric cars. I recently ran into Ian Robertson, the head of sales and marketing at the BMW Group, who explained where they see those offsets coming from. Let's get into the carbon fiber because that's so fascinating. It's been used in race cars for almost 25 years now. The aerospace industry has been into it for a couple of decades as well. But as you know, it's a very expensive material. And while you can probably quote it in kilograms and euros better, I think in dollars and pounds, it's about 50 cents a pound for steel, $1.50 for aluminum, something like $5 a pound for carbon fiber. Much, much more expensive. How do you justify the extra cost?
Well, the point you make is absolutely valid, of course, which is why up until now we've used it for exotic parts, spoilers, seat backs, maybe roofs, parts that were highly visible, and the customer could say, yes, I can understand the value for that. But in a business case, it never really worked as a weight offset. However, with a battery now, which is an extremely heavy and very expensive product, for every kilogram you save, of course, you can take some of the battery power out or increase your range. So now the business case has a validity to it. And we're proving that not only we can find a viable proposition, but also carbon fiber has so many other properties that you can actually take fewer parts to build a car as well because the structural integrity is much higher. You can actually have a much more flexible way of manufacturing because you don't need to have a body shop, you don't need to have a big welding shop. In our case as well, we have very little paint shop as well. So all of these elements are coming together to give you a car which is designed for a specific purpose and has this offset which carbon fiber delivers upon.
By the way, Ian Robertson is one of my guests on Autoline this week. I also speak with Johan Denijsen from Audi and Jonathan Browning from Volkswagen, and you can watch those interviews right now on our website, Autoline.tv. And then don't forget to tune in to Roundabout tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can catch that on Autoline.tv as well. And don't forget, Roundabout is all about having fun, so check it out. And that wraps up this week's report on the latest news in the automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Ward's is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.